Okay, so I have a podcast now. This is it. It's called Let It Out with Lizzie Dushaj. I'm Lizzie Dushaj, and this is my podcast. It's so crazy to think that it was this easy the entire time. Like, all I had to do was turn on the camera and say I have a podcast now, because that's literally the only thing that a podcast requires. But for some reason, it's taken me so long to finally do this. And this has been probably my biggest dream for as long as I can possibly remember. But I always felt like I had to get to a certain place in my social media journey before I could get to the podcast level. Like, I thought you have to unlock all these other steps before you get to podcast. But says who? I'm starting it now and no one can stop me. It's not my intention to keep this in the car. I just have nowhere else where I could possibly record right now that would be quiet and private and peaceful, and I don't need like a whole microphone system. I've heard that cars and closets are the best for recording. So here we are. This is going to be like an introduction episode just about me, how we got here, why I want to do this, why it's called Let It Out, all that fun stuff. So let's start with me. My name is Lizzie Dushaj. I'm 27 years old. My birthday is November 8th. I turned 27 recently. I actually really hate my birthday, and getting a year older every year has always really scared me. It's kind of like the new year for me instead of actually the new year. When I turn that new age, that's when the new beginning starts for me, and I honestly think it was another thing that like pushed me to finally start this. Also, I love motivational quotes. I'm a huge motivational quote lover. Whether it's coming from like a fortune cookie, a tea bag, a random sign that you drive past on the highway, a Snapple fact even. Like, I love random quotes like that. And one that's always stuck with me is that if you wait until the perfect moment to do something, you're never going to do it, because there's never going to be a perfect moment. And that quote has pushed me to do so many things, and now it's pushed me enough to do this. Okay, so about me. I was born in the Bronx, New York, and this kind of ties into why I wanted to call this podcast Let It Out. I grew up in a house of 12 people. It was me, my parents, my siblings, my grandparents, my uncle, his wife, and their children. All of us in one small house in the Bronx. Not that many bedrooms, not that much space, but a lot of people. And growing up, obviously, like, this felt normal to me. It took me a while to figure out, like, this actually isn't that normal. And it does have its pros and cons. I love my family more than anything. So, like, when I talk about this, I don't want it to make it seem like I had some really terrible childhood, because my family did everything they could to make sure we have the best childhoods we possibly can. But growing up with that many people in one small space really does have a huge impact on your life. So I say our life, we, because I'm speaking like on me and my siblings' behalf, that I think we all were like pretty deeply impacted by the fact that we grew up with so many people. And it's always been really hard for me to like take up space, I think they're saying these days, because it was always so obvious to me that I wasn't the center of attention, and I wasn't like the most important thing. The world does not revolve around me. Like, I was very well aware that the world revolved around a lot of other people too. I had so many people around me that were all going through their own things. Everyone was different ages. We all had our own problems going on. So it was just a lot, and I never was able to feel comfortable. I never felt like there was a time or place that I could just like make the moment about me, and I could just be like, guys, I really want to talk about something. Like, that didn't exist in our family. I kept everything bottled up. I was the only person really that like knew anything that was going on in my life. Like, whether it was just that I had a crush on a boy in middle school, or that I was like struggling with something, everything was so bottled up. And this really stuck with me for like my whole life, basically. It's always been so hard for me to recognize the fact that like I'm important too, and I can talk about my life too, and it's not a burden on other people to hear about my life. Which, like, so many people probably like already know that and know that their entire lives, like since they were children, they were probably comfortable to like talk to their parents or their friends and say like, oh, this is really upsetting me, or like I like this person, or like I love this. That never felt normal to me, and it took me until like my adulthood to realize that I need to start being more open. Okay, I hope that made sense, but basically that's why I want to call it Let It Out, because I've always been really bad at letting it out. And as I navigate through life and I get older, I think I've been getting a lot better at it. The fact that I can even do this now like says a lot. And I also was thinking about it, like everything really does happen when it's supposed to, and everything happens for a reason, and time works itself out. Because I said like I've always wanted to start a podcast, right? But what if I would have actually started this 5 years ago? I was not in the place I am now that I'm comfortable to like actually say these things out loud and be vulnerable. So maybe it's a good thing that I've waited until now, because I've grown so much in the past few years within my 20s. And I think that I'm at a place now that I can talk about things. And I know there's so many other people that maybe didn't have like an identical childhood to mine. It's kind of a rare case to grow up with that many people. But there's people that grew up with maybe their parents had their own issues, and it made them feel like they weren't the most important thing. Like their parents had other things to worry about. So even if you're like an only child, but you also were put into this mind space that like your problems are not as important as other things that are going on, you probably feel similar to me and have like the same issues with being vulnerable and letting things out. So yeah, I just want this to be a place that we can talk about things. I don't want every episode to like always be about like me and my life, and like everything's always like some big deep emotional thing that we're like letting it out. I just thought that was like a good theme to call this, because it's just gonna be me talking, letting it out. If you're watching this, I assume that you came across me from TikTok, because that's my biggest platform right now. And I love TikTok. TikTok is the first social media platform that made me feel comfortable to start posting online, because I always wanted to post online, but it was always so scary to me. Like I felt like YouTube wasn't an option, because all of the YouTubers that I was watching and were popular at the time, I felt like you had to have this whole elaborate life for people to watch you. You needed to have the big house and the kitchen and the halls. And I never had that. So I never thought that YouTube was even an option for me, even though like deep down it was what I wanted to do so bad. So when TikTok started becoming like more long form, like 1 minute plus content, I was like, this is my chance. I'm gonna go for it. And I love TikTok, but I feel like it's not the place that you can post stuff like this on, because people are just scrolling, they're seeing like some random meme, a recipe, random things. So if you come across like someone just being like super vulnerable every day for like 10 minutes straight, that's not the vibe. It's not the vibe. So that's why I want to have this second place that we can get more deep into things, and I can just keep my short form content to fun things. I've been posting online for like almost 3 years now. 2 years of like actually really taking it seriously and like posting every day and actively trying to grow. And in that time, what I really realized is that my favorite thing about the internet, my favorite thing about social media and having a following in any way, is the people that follow you. And I don't mean just like all of the followers. Every creator has like their group of people that actually really relate with them and look forward to watching their content and really feel like they connect with them. And the people that I have that feel that way towards me keep me going. I swear, like it's my favorite thing. I love going on live, and even if there's like 10 people on my live, I'll stay on with them for 3 hours. They'll ask me anything and I will be able to stay on with them for so many hours until it gets to the point that people start coming in the chat and being like, wait, you were on 2 hours ago, why are you still on? This is kind of weird. Like, do you have a life? And that's when I realized, like, oh, I actually really love this. Like, I'm doing this for free. I'm dedicating 3 hours of my life to talk to 10 people just because I want to. Not for any other gain. If anything, I would lose so many followers every time I go on live, because people just see like my name, like this girl's on live again for 3 hours, and people just unfollow because they're like, who the heck is this? So yeah, I really think that it's about time that I'm just moving to a platform that I can talk as long as I possibly want, and the people that do want to watch it will watch it, and the people that don't want to watch it, they don't have to. And I think this is really fun, and I'm like honestly mad at myself that I waited this long to do this. Since this is something that I've thought about for the longest time, I have so many topics in the back of my mind that I've been waiting to like talk about long form. So I'm really excited for all of the upcoming episodes that may come. I don't necessarily think that I'm like a therapist by any means, because I literally only just started talking about my emotions like 2 years ago. So I don't know if this is a place that I want to be like taking advice and like giving advice and taking questions to give advice on all of that, but maybe we could do like, give me things that you want to let out and then we talk about it, and then you get like your very unprofessional advice from me, and yeah, we just talk about things. So if you made it this far, make sure you like and subscribe. I'm gonna start the whole YouTube thing of posting weekly on a schedule. Let me know if you have any like specific ideas that you think I should talk about. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk next time.